Hey guys, Jarek and Wrapthor here. We're gonna be doing some more Project M. He's laughing because I actually said he was Komodo.
Komodo, he's gone. He went to bed. He couldn't even talk the other video anyways.
So hey, going back to what we were talking about in the last video, talking about the characters in Project M, we stopped on Meta Knight and basically said Meta Knight was, well, fuck him,
basically
pretty much.
Yeah.
He has been nerfed. I'll be entirely honest, I don't really know many of the changes they made to Meta Knight because I don't care to play him.
They made a lot of his duration moves, like, toned down. Like, you know that tornado that he does? It's not as long as before in Brawl. Same with that drill move, it's not as long. And I think his, I don't know, some of his moves just feels different, definitely.
Yeah, it's something about him. There's been a lot of changes happen to him. I think for the most part they kept his aerial game the same.
Yeah.
And I think they changed his recovery a little bit.
I think his beatdown's a lot stronger too.
Yeah, we could be talking out of our ass here, and neither of us really main as Meta Knight, and neither of us care about Meta Knight.
Yeah, I just played him for fun at one time, just to see what's new. All I know
never again.
All I know is they gave him a butterfly costume for some reason, but yeah, that's about it.
So, I mean, yeah, neither of us really care to play as him. What we do know is that he's been nerfed and he's no longer overpowered that he was in Brawl. So
I never really thought he was overpowered.
He
just people will just
he definitely was, though. I mean,
he's just one of those noob characters where it's like so easy to use, and then he has multiple jumps, and he can recover,
and he can snake everything. You can shark from below every platform ever.
Well, yeah, that too.
Like, he was just an unpleasant, annoying character to fight as, or fight against. And he was usually the one winning in tournaments. Like, he was the top tier. Like, pretty much without any question, he was the best character in the game. It was really irritating. So, I don't entirely know everything they've changed, but do know that he has been nerfed. Next one, DDD. DDD was...
He's still a fun character. He's like a Bowser.
DDD is weird because he's... Usually big characters are fairly slow, not very... Oh, just air dodge. Oh, you saved me there. Nope.
You just stood there and take it.
I thought I was going to land on the ledge. But yeah, King DDD was weird in Brawl because he was a good character. Like, legitimately a good character.
He was actually one of the top tiers, I think.
Yeah, he was. And usually big characters are just a punching bag, pretty much, in Smash games. So, it was strange that he was good to begin with. But, you know, he's good. I think he pretty much is the same. Like,
the thing that made him to the top tier is basically his freaking chain grab.
And that move, that run, his dash move, where you like fall
over.
he
has like that hyper shield too with that.
Yeah, and that was really good for edge guarding and stuff.
Including his recovery too.
Yeah, his recovery is pretty decent.
No, I mean like it gave him that super armor too, unless you like cancel out of it.
Unless you get him in, it's kind of like how Ike was for that, in a way. But I mean, he was good. He's pretty much the same.
Yeah, he's still the same.
I mean, you really didn't need to make him any better.
I think they may have increased the chance of getting the spike ball when he throws things. I don't know.
They might have changed it. Apparently, he's able to get an explosive crate. An extreme unlikely chance, but I did see a video where someone got an explosive crate, and I think that's a thing.
I didn't know that.
So
I know he can throw pills before, like item pills, capsule.
Yeah, I think it might be around the same.
Why do they call it pills?
Why did they jump into that?
Because you're dumb.
I think it might be the same. What's the word?
Like, I'm trying to push you back.
You no, fuck you. Oh, I hit that anyway. What's the word? It might be the same scenario, same amount of times that like Peach pulls out something that's really good.
Like a bomb or a saber.
Yeah, something like that.
The saber was like out of nowhere the first time I saw that, and I was like, what? I thought I turned items off. I was like, what the fuck is this? Wait, can DDD throw out the Smash Ball actually?
Smash Balls?
Yeah.
No.
I thought I'd seen that before.
I mean, if he was able to before, he certainly isn't able to in Project M. That's something that they wouldn't stick around.
That'd be cool.
That would be dumb. So yeah, DDD is still good. Ike is one of my mains. Probably I would consider my fourth main. I love Ike, to be honest.
He is definitely a lot faster than before.
They made a pretty decent amount of changes. His up tilt is now increased in speed, which when I first saw it, I was like, how would that hurt anyone? Because it looks so weak, and then I realized that the original animation was slower, so it would look like it would have more momentum to it. But yeah, it's really good for chaining people. The biggest change they made to Ike was now you can act out of his quick draw. You don't immediately attack. I don't know why I ran into that.
The first thing I do, the opening.
But yeah, his quick draw is a very useful thing now. Ike's biggest problem in Brawl was that he was just very predictable. You knew what he was going to do, and it was really easy to ledge hog. I mean, if you hit someone out of that quick draw, you just fall to your death. So, I mean...
Yeah, like the auto attack, you mean?
Yeah, it's... Before, you knew what he was going to do, and he just wasn't very good. Now, since basically quick draw doesn't immediately attack, you can do so many different things. You can either jump cancel and grab them out of your quick draw, so you can like quickly basically lunge at them and grab. You can jump out of them and just do an aerial move.
Yeah,
you can jump cancel and do an up smash, or you can do the regular one. I mean, you can do like everything out of it.
It's a gap closer, basically.
Yeah,
that makes him really fast, though.
And it's also like huge for mind games, because you have no idea what he's gonna do now.
Yeah.
You really don't.
Other than that, I noticed that when you fully charge it, it actually like leaves flamethrower, and it hurts really bad.
Yeah, it takes a long time, and it's really...
like when you actually hit them with the regular move.
Yeah, it takes a long time to fully charge, and it's really difficult to get the timing right.
But it's like, what, a kill move, though?
I think it might be a guaranteed kill move, like Roy's B move, B charge, or Ike's B, whatever. So, yeah. I mean, he's also still very good at aerial moves. He is a good aerial killer. Ike, I've noticed, is kind of a soft counter to floaty characters. Because he definitely can kill people that are just kind of floating above you. Like a Jigglypuff will get killed very easily by Ike, even though he can be punished very well if you miss a grab or something. So, yeah, long story short, Ike is now good. And you could actually make a case for him being one of the top tiers in Project M. Like, possibly. Quite easily.
Yeah, I've seen people use him very well, so...
So, I'm glad they made that change.
Yeah, a lot of people just take advantage of his new withdrawal, which is great. There's more varieties of things you can do now.
Other than that, I don't think they changed much. They did change his down smash. You don't have to attack the second time.
They changed the hyper armor, right? Off of his recovery?
No, he still has light armor on his up B. It's smaller, though. He still has armor on his B charge, which is useful. His B now spikes people if you get him perfectly at the bottom.
And you notice the flame is blue. That's the other change.
Yeah, they also changed visual things, but it doesn't really do anything.
It's beautiful.
There are actually, like, there was a lot of changes they made to it. So, you know, he's good. Long story short, he's a really good character now. Which I'm happy, because I'm a big Fire Emblem fan.
He's fun. That's all that really counts.
Yeah, he is also a really fun...
He's one of those fun characters like Ganondorf.
He is scary when someone is good with him. He has a huge sword and has a lot more range than most other characters do. And when he's jumping at you in the air, there's so little you can really do. I mean, you can fight against it or you can air dodge. And it's like, you know that this is going to kill you if it hits you. So it puts that pressure on them to make sure that they don't fuck up. So yeah, he's a scary character, and he's not also slow either. Like, a lot of his moves may have that sort of
delay.
Yeah, they may have that delay, but he has a lot of quick moves too, like his normal
I fucking hate
jab.
it though, like, most of his delays kind of throws me off because I'll react and dodge, yet still get hit by it because it's freaking delay.
Took a second, yeah.
Other than that, there's some of his moves that still has the duration that you have in...
They also sped up his forward tilt, and it's a good kill move too. So...
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's faster and a great kill move. So, at least if they're higher percents. So yeah, it's... Basically, they just made him not as slow, they made him not predictable, and now you have a good character. And being a Fire Emblem fan, I like that. I'm just afraid they're going to get rid of Ike for Smash 4, like they did with Roy, which is stupid. Alright, next character, Marth. Marth, I will consider my main. See, I'm kind of torn what I would consider my main character. Do what?
His nerf, his range, his sword.
His sword doesn't feel like it's quite as long as it was in
it's
Melee.
Definitely not long.
They have made a lot of changes to Marth for Project M from Brawl. They gave him his regular shield breaker back, so that's good.
I don't know, I kind of like the poke though.
But his shield breaker could be used for certain combos, and the poke didn't work for those, so they wanted to keep him the same. They did give him
unique though.
Meh. They did give him a little bit more range to his sword. It's not as short as it was in Brawl, but it still doesn't feel like it's as long as it was in Melee. They gave him his mythical, freaking ridiculous grab range. You can grab people from so far away. I'm sure you will see or probably have already seen that. It's just like it was in Melee.
All the Fire Emblem grabs, I don't know. They're like long as their sword for some reason. I like how you like...
Lucky Spike with that direction instead. But yeah, they did that, and I don't really think they really had to make many other choices, because for the most part, Marth hasn't really changed.
Well, they did change. They still have like the whole brawl physics where you hit him with the sword. You can't really do the Ken combo that well.
Yeah,
it's a lot more difficult.
In general, I'm really torn with how I feel about Marth, because, you know, he was my main in Melee. I consider myself kind of at heart to be a Roy main, but considering how bad Roy was in Melee, you couldn't use him, so if I wanted to play competitively, I went with Marth. And a lot of the tricks, like, they still work, but they're really, really difficult to do now, and the store just does not send people in the right ways. Like, your forward air seems to send people more outward away than it does upward like it did in Melee. And on top of that, your spike is so picky. It's just the same spikes that will work in Melee sometimes don't work. Especially if people are behind you, that spike is nowhere near as... I don't know why I even went for that. But that spike, like, usually in Melee, you can just turn around on a ledge and then spike downward, and 9 times out of 10, you're gonna spike them. But in this, it just doesn't seem to work as well. You can still do it, but...
It's more or less, like, in the corner. Like, it's still below Marth. You can't get him on the back end like you used to.
It's kind of disappointing. Like, I would honestly argue that they need to buff Marth a little bit to be on page with some of the other mains in Project Down.
He's still pretty good.
Like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, he has definitely a lot of weaknesses against certain characters.
It's just that you're used to the whole freaking melee range.
But the thing was, the whole point was they wanted to make him as good as he was in Melee, and he definitely is not that. I mean, for the most part, he's the same character, but he has a lot of weaknesses that he shouldn't really have.
It's probably the new characters. I mean, you know.
Well, that's the other thing, though. Is like, I would like to see him at least make some changes to his sword.
I don't understand how Mewtwo, I couldn't not grab you from that range.
Marth, that's something Marth still has, is this weird disjointed hitbox when you're doing moves and when you're running and everything. It'll make it so that your moves will like phase through him at times. So yeah, it's still Marth. It's still the Marth we know. You can still do a lot of combos, but it is a lot harder to do said combos now. And it kind of is disappointing because I like using Marth and I want to use him more. So I mean, I still consider him my main, and the only reason I really do is because, you know, he's a proven character, and we know he's a good character. He was a top tier in Melee. He's basically the same in this one, despite him being more difficult to use. So, I mean, if I'm gonna go full tryhard, I might as well use a character I'm used to. Roy has a plethora of changes they made to him. I mean, he's still Roy, but they pretty much reworked the character entirely.
Yeah, they also gave him his own final smash.
Yeah, which really doesn't matter too much, but, yeah, you know, it's cool looking. It's kind of like a mixture between Marth and Ike's. The changes they made to Roy, there's a lot to list. First off, they made his recovery slightly better, but in my opinion, it's still shit. So, like, okay, let's start with the good before we start trashing him. So, one, they changed his aerial game entirely. His forward smash actually does something now. It's not like slapping someone with like a wet... I swear, if you hit... Noodle. Yeah, that's what it was like in Melee. It was like a pool noodle. You just slapped him and nothing would happen. They wouldn't go anywhere, they wouldn't get stunned, he was useless. It even said in the definition, like, the character description in Melee of Roy is that his aerial game was bad. So, I mean, he sucked in the air. His neutral air was okay, really nothing great, to be honest. His back air, again, did nothing. He had no spike, which was lovely.
Yeah.
So his aerial game all around was terrible. On top of that, he was a slower character.
We were starting with good. We went back to the bad.
Well, I'm talking about the changes they made to improve him. I'm talking about how bad he was in Melee and what they're doing to change that.
What?
So his up air is pretty much the same, but now it actually sends people somewhere. His forward air is the same, but now it sends people somewhere. His down air now has a spike to it. It's a little bit picky and a little bit tricky with how to use it. It's like around his back leg.
I thought it was like directly below him.
That too. It's kind of directly below and behind. So, I mean, you can spike people, and that is a good thing to do now, but it's trickier. It's definitely nowhere near as easy as it is with Marth.
It's not worth
suiciding
for, because it's really hard to pull off.
His back air is amazing. It's very similar to Ike's. See, you can still do the spike, it's tricky with Marth. But Roy's back air is similar to Ike's. It's a very strong move. It kind of has a sweet spot closer to him, and it will kill. Like, that's a kill move you need to utilize correctly. And it's actually not that difficult to set up. It's something I need to use more. It's really good.
And the good thing is quick, because it's Ike's move.
It is very quick.
And he definitely changes down smash. It has flames. It's not like a Marth who hits like two sides. He actually spins around. It's a completely different animation. Same with his neutral air move. It has flames and he actually spins around instead of like Marth double slash.
Yeah,
like that.
Roy's neutral air is, you know, he pretty much just spins in a circle and sends fire everywhere, but it still kind of has like that double hit duration to it.
Yeah, but still.
But it doesn't look like that.
It's a completely different
animation. Yeah, it's very good looking. It's very flashy. I like it.
Other than that, they definitely changed his double-edged sword combo.
Yeah, one thing really quickly before going into that, his down smash is, like you said, they changed it. It doesn't have as much range as Marth. That's the one thing.
For sure.
It hits everywhere around him at once, and it leaves him vulnerable for a very long time. So it's really not too worth it to do unless you need a move to get out of somewhere where you're going to die anyway. So, you know, I like how it looks, but I would actually prefer to have Marth's, because Marth's actually has killing potential to it as well. But yeah, his sword dance, it is good now and useful. That's probably really the main reason I actually liked using Roy to begin with in Melee, is because his sword dance is just really cool.
Well,
but I need this
similar to Marth, but it's just different in a way.
And it had a little bit more killing potential to it.
Yeah.
It's something I really need to do, is just use it less. I like it so much, but it really leaves you vulnerable. So it's kind of a tricky thing to use, and you got to know when to use it correctly, but it's still very good moves.
Well, the thing about it too, they made it so unique. It's definitely different from the way how Marth does his animation.
Yes.
Same with Melee. So they definitely gave him a whole new animation set, which is really nice.
They, let's see, what exactly did they change? The forward moves are pretty much the same for the first three, except for the last one is a long-ranged, almost like a lunge at the enemy. It is a really good kill move if you actually hit them with it. And it stuns them pretty bad too.
Yeah.
His third up one is the same for Melee. It still spikes people, so utilize that, even though it is somewhat difficult to set up, but if they don't know what's coming, it's useful.
Oh my god, that part, the fucking camera zoomed out and I couldn't see where I was landing. And I used up all my jumps, of course. Anyways.
His down is a little bit different. His last one no longer is like that weird poke thing. It just has a long duration of fire. So you can use that well to edge guard.
Knockback though.
It doesn't have that big knockback, but it's
almost
like
percentage. I mean, it feels like it has a long.
It's almost like for edge guarding, it's almost like a shine. Like it sends them just far enough away to where they can't come back, and it's kind of frustrating to get hit by it, to be honest. But it's a little bit. It's not as bad as the shine because it actually does take a little bit of skill to set up. Because you got to have the perfect what do you call it?
Timing.
Yeah, perfect timing, the perfect range, the perfect zoning. I mean, you really have to set things up well in order to be able to do that. So.
And another thing that they changed, instead of like all the last hit on the forward hit, you can actually turn around if the enemy dodge behind you.
Yeah, the animation is, like you mentioned, kind of similar to Marth's forward B in Brawl, or forward B is neutral B in Ball.
Well, they kind of gave his poke move too, like his his forward A.
Yeah, they seem to kind of borrow some animations, which, you know, is just being smart.
Yeah.
Almost committed suicide. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's a fire poke that Marth's original shield breaker in Brawl.
Yeah.
But you can just turn it around and do it instantly. So.
Yeah, and also his sword dance actually connects. They kind of stun lock enemies in the combo this time, not like hit them on the third hit and then they're kind of gone. You can't finish the last hit, which was disappointing in Melee.
Got stuck under the stage. But yeah, it definitely does stun them. You can shield grab people on the third to fourth one though, and you got stuck under the stage there. So I guess we're suicide trading.
I have no idea what happened there.
But yeah, it will stun people, but you still, I mean, you're pretty much not given that fourth hit instantly. People can still shield it and they can still grab you or stop you on the fourth one. The third, pretty much the first two to the third are almost a given, close to. So yeah, it's a good one now. The only thing I don't really like about it is the fourth up move, because it doesn't really hit people above you. It's only because if they're on the ground.
He doesn't jump like Marth. He just does this weird uppercut sweep motion.
Yeah, which is, I think that might have been how Marth was originally in Brawl. I don't know. I might be wrong.
No.
But yeah, I don't really like it. I like being able to hit people on platforms above me with it, which would do a lot, because I mean, it sends fire everywhere.
Yeah, that's basically all it changed though.
But yeah, like I said, they did make his recovery better, and this is really the bad, and this is the reason I don't see Roy being one of the better characters in Project M.
He still has troubles with his second jump. He's heavy.
Yeah, he's falls like a rock, but he's not heavier than Marth. He's actually lighter than Marth. So on top of that, he falls quickly, he gets stunned terribly. His recovery isn't that great to begin with, especially if you catch him out of his double jump, you're fucked. Yeah. Just in general, his recovery moves are bad. There's really not much you can do. He's really easy to gimp. He may be strong, but it's really... It's kind of sad. Like, I wish they would make him not quite as heavy. Make it, or at least just make his triple jump go a little bit farther to kind of counteract that. I really don't believe that at any point he'll ever be that great of a character, but who knows? You know, we're still early in Project M, and someone
how about the main lesson? Let's try not get knocked off the stage. How about that?
Okay, Isaiah, don't get hit. That's the way to win.
Exactly. Anyways.
But yeah, that's...
Let's move on to the next character. Too much about Roy. Roy's our boy.
Well, I think at one point I will state that I think my mains, probably in this order, are Marth, Roy, Charizard, and Ike. I might switch Roy and Charizard around because it seemed to be better with Charizard than Roy, just because Charizard seems to be better.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on. Olimar, apparently they made him better. I don't really know the changes they've made to him. I know some of his Pikmin do different things now.
Yeah, the white one, I think it explodes on.
Yeah, one of them explodes. One does fire.
It almost does fire. What are you talking about?
But it's like stronger now. Like they did some buffs to Olimar, but I honestly don't
really care.
Yeah, that too. Like I don't care about Olimar.
I don't really see people use him because it's just why, you know?
He's another one of those characters that he's unknown, you know. So
people don't really main these characters; they just use them for the hell of it.
But that's the thing is, if we had someone that did main him, we'd know what he'd be able to do. And we don't, though.
Yeah.
So we don't know if he's going to be good.
I'm pretty sure no one gave him a chance. Like, I bet they tried, but they're like, oh, this is stupid.
But yeah, so once again, no one really knows.
Someone out there probably is like, hey, I love this character.
This is my man. See, that's the problem. You can't say anything bad about any specific character because there's always that person that loves that character that uses it and then gets mad because it's like they take it as an attack on themselves.
Mad. Use that rage. Power up yourself.
Just prove me wrong. But yeah, Rob is...
Oh, they definitely changed him. His recovery is just ridiculous. That's all I can say.
Ridiculous?
Ridiculous.
He's good. He's legitimately a good character. I personally myself, he's fucking stupid. I hate him. But, like, I don't care for him. He's just a dumb character.
He's another Game & Watch, pretty much.
But Game & Watch is funny. We're going to talk about him in a moment. It's like... I don't care about Rob as a character. I think he's stupid, but he's good. He's legitimately a good character.
Oh, what I was going for is just an old Nintendo game character. That's what I was going for.
Well, I mean, if you look at Nintendo's history and see what Rob is...
Oh my god.
Apparently I can stun lock like that. But if you look at Nintendo's history and look at what happened with Rob and everything like that, it only makes sense to have him, kind of. You know, I can see why they'd add him, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give a shit about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, long story short, he's good. His recovery is great. He has a lot of spikes. He has a lot of projectiles that can gimp you. And I got stuck against the wall there. It had that stupid animation.
They did improve his laser charge. His regular beam, where he can shoot that beam. I think it charged a lot quicker than before.
Yeah, again, long story short, he's good. He's good. I don't like him, but he's good.
Just talk about him. Don't even lie.
I always get hit with that freaking Shadow Ball.
I don't know why.
It's probably because it's like, once I get that far back, I have to be really precise, otherwise I won't make it back anyway, so I can't really avoid it.
Fucking I shot the Shadow Ball, push me to the off the ledge, or the edge of the map.
I don't know why this side of the level has such a short...
It's always been like that.
Kill zone, well, it's a little bit closer than it was in N64, though.
I'm also glad that they brought this map back. It was like one of my favorite.
I like it, but it's definitely not a Marth level.
I just wish they brought the tornadoes back. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
They had the tornadoes on this map.
They didn't want to because they wanted it to not mess up with the... Yeah.
They should have gave that option, though. Turn on, like, the environmental...
Tornadoes on or off. That'd be like a fun mode or a competition mode.
Yeah,
I can see that. Alright, next one, Game & Watch. Game & Watch, okay, at first when they added him into Melee, I was like, what is this? No, this is stupid, I hate this character. And he really wasn't good in Melee either, like, he was not one of the better characters.
He wasn't.
But now that I've, like, really seen him, And I almost got that spike. Now that I've like really seen people use him in Project M and seen the changes they made, holy crap, he's amazing.
Wow. I don't even know. Some people are just really lucky. Yeah, that's in my opinion.
Well, the changes they specifically made to him, like, he already had a pretty decent moveset. All of his moves have a long duration.
Yeah.
He already has a very good recovery with that triple jump. But really the main change they made to him is he can act out of his triple jump now.
Yeah, that.
Kind of like how you can act out of Mewtwo's teleport. So that sets up a lot of combos to chase people. And on top of that, if you just use your regular triple jump with Game & Watch, you can double jump after that. Like, if you have not used your double jump, you can use it afterwards.
Yeah, it's just like Mewtwo, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he is now a good character.
Other than that, the other change that they made, his aerial up move, it no longer pushes the enemy up, so they didn't want you to abuse that, pushing them off the top of the map. Other than that, in his down aerial move, which is the key, it doesn't lock you in place where you just straight go down until you hit something. So,
It's still a spike, though.
It's still a spike.
It still does spike people.
But you have to get it right, I think. If you don't get them at the right timing, it'll hit them upwards like some people's move.
Yeah, so, yeah, long
And-
story short, if you haven't used Game & Watch, look up people that are good with him in Project M and try him. Komodo has actually been getting better with Game & Watch, and, like, I think he's been considering it his main at this point.
That's funny. It's because it's black, huh?
Oh, but yeah, he legitimately is good, and he's pretty easy to use, too. That's the other thing, is, like, you don't have to be so precise with his combos and everything. It's hard to commit suicide.
I don't know if people are just getting lucky unless they really increase his chance of getting the number 9 hammer.
Well, that's the other thing, is, like, there is a little bit of luck with Game & Watch with using his side B, because it brings up that hammer thing, which will do different things per whatever number you get.
Yeah.
But a large amount of those are still kills. I mean, if you get a 5, you shock them. If you get a 7, you...
The shock one, it
there's
sends them sideways, I think.
Yeah, you have a shock one, you have a fire one, you have an electric one, you have the hammer, which will...
Electric
the 9,
one and the
which...
shock one's the same.
Oh, whatever, you know what I mean.
Yeah, number 7 is the one that gives you food.
Yeah, there's that, which is still has a pretty decent knockback. I apparently didn't have a double jump there.
Okay, actually, let's start with 1. 1 is the one that actually hits you instead, if you haven't noticed that. 2,
I haven't. It only does 1 damage anyway, and
2
it doesn't
is like
do
a
anything.
slap. I don't know, it just like hits them and nudge them.
3 doesn't do much either.
I don't really know what 3 does. I think it hits them up a little bit.
Doesn't do much either way.
4 was the fire one, that's for sure.
5, I think, was the electric one.
I can't remember what 6 does.
I never seen
Maybe
it show
6
up.
was fire. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And all I know is 7 that drops the food for you, and it recovers at like 12% maybe.
And it has a lot of knockback on it to
Yeah.
begin with.
And the
8 is the ice one.
That's the one
which, that was... I mean, it makes you heavy. So
Yeah.
it'll also spike you. So if you do that off stage and get lucky with that, they're dead.
I like how the ice actually there's physics to it. I mean, it drags them down. The
Yeah.
ice in melee, it sends them up for some reason. Like, what the fuck?
So yeah, that happens, and the 9 is almost a pretty much
And-
guaranteed kill.
Yeah, 9 is an absolute one-hit kill.
So I mean, if you...
That's scary.
One of the scariest things in Project M is definitely a lucky Game & Watch. And he is legitimately one of the better characters now. You can use him effectively. So he's pretty good. Like, if you... Like I said, just look up videos of him. I don't remember what the name is. I think if you just YouTube Send the Salt, it might be able to send you to the correct ones. But this guy, I'm pretty sure his Game & Watch is
This
his
Game
main.
& Watch is one of the best Game & Watch I've seen so far.
Yeah. But yeah, enough of the Game & Watch. Next one, Snake. Fuck Snake. Fuck everything about Snake. I despise this character. Now, I don't have any emotional attachment to Snake to begin with, because I don't really care for Metal Gear Solid. I don't hate Metal Gear Solid, I just don't really care for it. So, you know, this is completely speaking off of just gameplay perspective. I hate him. He's so cheap. Some of his combos are really easy. That C4 there needs to be a way so you can make that C4 get off of you.
I think it would be like 3 rolls would be good or something like that.
There needs to be some way of like being able to attack the other person. Well, I don't really think you should be able to get it back onto Snake, because that would be almost just as cheap. But really, I mean, once they have that C4 on you, you're fucked. And there's nothing you can really do about it. And it's pretty much a guaranteed kill once they hit you high enough on the stage, or once you jump high enough.
Yeah.
So, you know, I hate this character. In general, the Tranquilizer Dart, I'm perfectly fine with.
Yeah, they replaced out the the controlled missile, I believe.
No, well, it still is a Trank Dart.
No, what they replaced.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm honestly fine with it because you need to reload it. It does stun you and you can mash out of it, so I mean, you have some way to fight against that. So I mean, it's not like you
It
can't.
just catches
do
you
anything.
off guard though.
It really does. I never expected.
Yeah, you have 3 shots, and then you'll do a really long reload animation. So keep count of that.
I hate those mines, depending on the stage. If you use those mines on Skyworld, you can't see it. Because the bottom of it is yellow. So literally you have no idea where it is, you just know it's there. Yeah. So I mean, it's Snake in general is just one of those characters where he's cheap.
They did nerf down his grenade count. He only can throw 1 grenade now, which is good. I always hate that spamming grenade ever, and you can use a grenade shield if you remember that.
I am glad that they basically made Project M less spammy than Brawl.
Yeah.
So
well, not with Falco.
It was melee spammy. That wasn't like cheap Brawl spammy. That was so you can approach.
That was one of the changes. They also got rid of his rocket launcher smash, and they changed it to a 3-hit knife move. Well, it's a 2-hit, but you can add the 3-hit like a Link.
That always catches me off guard. I forget that there's 3 because I think Link. I don't think.
Yeah, he definitely lunged on the 3rd hit though.
Yeah, he goes far.
And what is the other changes? They still have his crawl. He was the first person to crawl, but they gave him a different animation instead of the regular down kick when you hold down. He actually pulls out a knife and pokes them, and it does stun lock them on.
If they're a heavy character, you're gonna get stuck there.
Yeah.
So until
that's
you can,
pretty funny though.
Until you can manage the DI away, which still is pretty difficult because he can move while doing so. It definitely does stun lock you pretty bad. Like, if you're playing as Roy, you can't do shit about it. Yeah. If I'm playing as Marth, I'm sure I could just jump away.
Yeah, I think that's like the only major change it is. Mostly his B moves, I think.
I don't think he really needed too many changes because he was already good in Brawl as is.
Oh, I don't know. Can you still do his dash cancel where he slides with the mortar? I can't remember. I haven't seen people done that in a long time.
I'm sure you can.
I've been trying to do that. Like, he slides across the stage doing the whole mortar trick.
Well, I don't think you can slide quite as far, but I'm pretty sure you can.
I don't know, I can't see. You know when he does that forward dash move? When you actually hit them? And you can actually cancel all of it and do the mortar. But I haven't been able to do that lately for some reason. They might have took that out for some reason. I don't know. It was pretty cheap though in the tournament.
Yeah, I honestly cannot properly answer since, I don't main as Snake and don't really know. So.
All I know is that he does have cheap combos with the C4 and how to set it up. It's really easy. All you have to do is just like hold forward, press A to do his little knee move. Do not continue that move because it just stuns them, and then he just plays the C4. Just that easy.
Or if you get the, or if you get a grab. Really,
yeah.
You're almost guaranteed with a grab. So that's why I hate it. Like, if it was more difficult to set up, I wouldn't mind it. But it's just so cheap and so easy to do. Like, I really don't know what they were thinking when it comes to adding that move in like that. But yeah, enough hating on Snake. The last character that they added is Sonic. I'm fine with it, honestly. Sonic is...
What changed? I don't even know if there's any change.
Mainly his movement. He's still definitely the fastest character in the game.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. If you can see a player play... A lot of things have changed over the development time, too. So...
Yeah.
If you can see his movement in characters, like, mainly they pretty much act like Squirtle. That's basically what they do.
Yeah. Basically, like, every time you do a move, there is kind of like a connection that you can do. Just basically like a combo, like Squirtle when he does that stupid turtle dash, shell move, whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's like, honestly.
Yeah, you can actually pull crazy combos. Like, I played the nasty computers with Sonic, and then it's like, for some reason, he's pulling off this crazy dash moves, and
it stun locks too.
Yeah, it just stuns me pretty bad.
And he has a spike. I mean, he can kill you from away. I mean, he's pretty well-rounded character that's really
his spike
quick.
Is weird. Like, it goes straight down if you miss, but if you hit something, it'll definitely hit them down. But like, he has a really easy setup now where you can actually combo out of his dash spin moves. Any of his dash spin moves, actually.
And yeah, Sonic was one of those weird characters adding into Brawl to begin with, which, I mean, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Seeing as how Sonic is tied with Nintendo at this point. But it's still really weird going back from, like, seeing when it used to be, like, Mario vs. Sonic, you know?
I remember that.
I still remember being more surprised about, like, Snake being added.
That caught me off guard. I was like, what?
Like, even though I knew the stories about, like, apparently they wanted Snake in, and the developer of Snake wanted Snake in. The developer of Metal Gear Solid wanted him in. Yeah, it's got to be a nightmare to add Snake in, though. It had to be an illegal nightmare just to get him there. So I don't expect him to be in Smash 4, but that would was just really, really weird.
Also, I'm always getting really tired. I'm playing really bad with Mewtwo now. So
this is pretty
also,
early on.
I don't even really talk about my my mains. Like for some reason I wanted to main Mewtwo because I gave up Fox for some reason. Well, Fox in Melee, he was really cheap and definitely one of the top tier. He was one of the fastest. Now I could not use him anymore. Once they reached Brawl, he was completely different. So instead in Brawl, I mained Wolf. And then, I don't know, I tried using Wolf in this, and he's still just as good, even with the moves change. But when they brought Mewtwo back, I really like, I don't know. He's just a lot more better than compared to Melee. Because in Melee, I really did want to main Mewtwo, but I just couldn't do it because how bad he was.
I can't see why they wouldn't add Mewtwo back, because he's definitely a fan favorite. Like, people want to see Mewtwo back into Smash, and they were really mad when he was suddenly replaced by
Lucario.
Which is pretty much how I felt when they replaced freaking... Like, I
Roy with Ike.
You know, I like Ike, just in the same way I like Lucario, but why do you need to replace Roy? I understand he's not really significant. And that's the other thing, is like, I haven't heard anything about any more Fire Emblem characters in Smash 4. Yeah. So,
hey, you know, man, you just interrupted me. I was telling my characters. No, I was just gonna make it quick though. Like, I just made Mewtwo now, and then Wolf is basically my second. And for some reason, I just happened to use Ivysaur just to test him out in Project M, and he was actually really good to chain everything and set up. So I'll actually consider him as my third. I mean, other than that, I used to play as Fox, Marth, and Samus in Melee in tournaments. I mean, I used to use Link too. I don't know. I use Link on and off in this one. It's just because I use Link and Samus because they're actually my friend, one of my best friends back in Hawaii. Like, they just made the character and I just missed them, and I'll use them for the hell of it because I remember their game style, their play style. I'll just play the same way they would do.
The thing I like about Smash though is, like, you know, I'm not really a fighting game type person. I don't really like playing fighters, and I'm not trying to say that Smash is a fighting game. It's really not. It's pretty much its own thing. But I like it for that reason, is that you don't have to get stuck into, like, alright, this is the combos that I have to do, and I need to perfectly execute it.
Combination.
It's like you have a lot of experimentation to do. You can really do what you want to do. I mean, you can see two different people playing as a Marth, and you can tell who is playing that Marth just by how differently they're playing. And they have their own playstyle, which is something that I've always liked.
But still, they're gonna have this. They're gonna try to, you know, the fancy setup, like the can combo.
Yeah.
No one can give that up.
But I mean, if you look at like the way Ken played compared to like Mewtwo King, well, freaking Shadow Ball,
and he truly does, like, you know, deserve to own that name for the combo because Ken was actually one.
He pretty much invented Marth, so I mean,
yeah, pretty much.
So I mean, it's kind of disappointing to see that, like, you know, when Melee first came out, Marth was one of the top 3 tiers, really. But looking at the competitive scene now, you don't really see Marth around too much in Melee.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of has, for the most part, disappeared. Which is disappointing because I like watching him.
Nobody could use him as good as Ken.
Well, it's that and that he has...
like Mewtwo King.
It's that and with a lot of the changes and a lot of new characters that came up to be very competitive, he has a lot of different weaknesses against characters that you usually, you know, that would show up every once in a while. Like, using Marth against Jigglypuff is a nightmare. And that's a character that you're going to see. So, I mean...
The wall of back airs.
It's like, it's either he has a really good matchup against characters, or he has a terrible matchup against them. I mean, another one, even low tiers, like, say, Link, is not necessarily going to be a good matchup for Marth.
He can be.
Well, I'm talking about Marth being a matchup for Link.
Yeah, I
Link
know,
usually is going to... I mean, you can. I mean, both can juggle each other.
They can stun lock each other.
You can, but usually those boomerangs and those bombs, that is a nightmare for Marth's approach, since Marth doesn't really have a good approach to begin with. So, I mean...
Yeah, I used to get really irritated seeing my friend's Link when I was a Fox. You know how Fox get really stunned pretty bad, too.
Yeah, well, Fox is an interesting character to wear. I mean, he's one of the top tiers. He's definitely one of the best. He can pretty much juggle.
He was like a medium heavy. That's what I didn't understand.
Yeah, he feels really fat.
Yeah.
But it's like, he can pretty much juggle anyone, but at the same time, almost anyone can juggle Fox.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. And I haven't really seen Falco around either for that part, actually. I've seen
Falco's
Falco
gone
kind of...
really boring. I mean, it's the same shit. I mean, all you do is laser spam. That's it.
Dr. Peepee uses them, which I don't know why you'd want a name of Dr. Peepee, but I mean, he won Apex 2014 if I remember correctly, so I mean, he's still there. It's just I haven't seen him as near as much. Like, pretty much with the disappearance of PC Chris, back when he used to be, you know, I think he won, like, MLG, the main MLG one that happened in Vegas.
OMG.
Pretty much since the disappear of him, I don't know. I just haven't seen Falco around, so things definitely have changed. The game has changed. I mean, like I said, at one point, Ice Climbers used to be considered a bad character, so...
Yeah, I remember that. So, all I know, though, I got inspired by Ice Climber by Chudat.
He's still around.
Yeah, I know. He was the person that I actually have to, like, watch, and I even, like, shadow and try to, like, learn how to desync them.
That's the thing when it comes to Smash in general is, I mean, you kind of watch someone like, say, a Ken or something, and I just suicided somehow. I don't know what the hell I did.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Ice Climber was actually my second best, or probably my third best in Melee. This one I could use them, but it's just, I don't know, I'm not used to them anymore. And they're, I guess the chain jab is just really cheap. I don't want to play cheap anymore.
If you're in tournaments, I completely understand doing that.
Yeah, if I was in tournaments, I would play dirty, but
when you're just playing in friendlies, though, you kind of don't really want.
You don't want to
do
piss them off. Yeah, I pissed you off one time. That was funny.
That's a lot of the reason I don't really usually ask Komodo or Bird to start playing, because it's like, I mean, we've played for a lot longer, so obviously, and that's
not a good matchup.
Not at all. I mean, we've been playing since Melee basically came out.
The thing.
And
it kind of ruins their fun because it's like, it ruins their motivation. They're like,
that's what I don't understand though. It's like there's two different ways to react to that. Instantly, people will either have the feeling of I'm never going to be this good, and they just will give up, or they'll do what I do and just get mad and then play more, which is kind of how I respond to it. I don't like losing. I'm going to try to get better at the game.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not going to stop playing because I lost. If anything, that's going to make me play more.
Yeah, trust me. I've been playing this game for like, what?
I don't know why I went from that.
5 years?
Greedy Ken combo fail.
Yeah, like ever since, I was like a big fan of Smash Run. I'm still am, and I don't know, I've been playing this game for like maybe 5 or plus years.
I had to pretty much relearn everything, because it's like, I played Melee probably from, since it came out to, gotta be like 2008 or something, and then it just kind of, I don't know, I stopped. Right around when Brawl came out, that's when I stopped. And then I came back to it recently when I heard about Project M and just had to completely relearn.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, what? And then that's when I just got back into Smash Brother. I mean, I just stopped because Brawl kind of did ruin it for me. And the tournaments were like pretty shitty, to be honest.
And now you look and Melee is still active and Brawl's pretty much dead.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have tournaments for it, but it's so small compared to the Melee scene.
It's like, until they brought up Brawl, it's like, this is a very disappointment, and I kind of just moved on to the Xbox.
I don't really understand Nintendo's logic from it, even from a business standpoint, because why would you alienate half the people keeping your game alive? I had to jump there, apparently. But it really doesn't make any sense. Like, why is it a bad thing to keep the competitive players happy? A casual player is not going to tell the difference. I mean, people loved Melee. I was universally loved by everyone, and Brawl is hated by half of the community, so why are they so against playing competitively? Like, why does that make them mad?
I don't know. I guess they want people to have fun like little kids. They always think of the children. Oh, how cute.
I guess that's my problem. Like, that's my problem with multiplayer games in general now. They try everything to make the skill gap small.
Yeah.
They want all the players to be even. They want everyone to have fun. I guess that's their way. Like, one of the biggest problems in developing a game is how do you make a losing fun? There's no way to do it. So, I mean, they just figure out a way to make you not lose instead. And unfortunately, it's kind of made people think differently about multiplayer games too, because it's like, I think this would be pretty much the Call of Duty effect. Where people now feel entitled to win. They now feel entitled that they need to do better at the game, and if they're doing bad at the game, they're not going to assume, what do I need to do to get better? They're just going to be like, this game sucks, something's wrong with the game. It's like, whatever happened to back in like the Unreal days where it took skill to be good at a game, and when you first jumped into a game, you would understand, I'm going to lose and get, you know, killed badly.
Yeah. Other than that, people just like, once they do get good, they'll the bragging rights apparently and start talking mad shit.
I hate it when people talk shit. Like, as someone that has played, I don't remember what exactly was. I'm pretty sure someone was this when someone was calling me? No, it wasn't. Something was happening here. I don't remember what it
I
was.
think I sneezed. Is this the part when I sneezed and I got all on your arm?
Okay. He like turned his head to sneeze and sneezed all over my arm anyway. I'm like, why?
How did I even sneeze on your arm? I looked at the other direction.
It's like a face explosion.
That was hilarious, though.
What was I talking about, damn it?
Call of Duty or something stupid.
Well, that would be something stupid. Hey, that's a good example of Marth's grab.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what? It's just, what the fuck?
That has always been there. That's something I've always abused.
No, we were talking about like Call of Duty, like winning and something, losing.
Yeah,
and
I was pretty much
talking shit.
Yeah, I hate it when people talk shit in games. And
Yeah.
I seem to be alone when it comes to this, though. Like, of course, there's that friendly.
Look at that grab again. Jeez.
I love that grab. I need to figure out ways to add in. Why does that not spike people? I hate
You're
that.
trying your best to edgeguard Mewtwo.
It's difficult. Well, in Melee, that would have spiked, but
Yeah, I know.
it's annoying.
This fucking leaf, I swear. This leaf on this map is just, it was getting on my nerves. This is why I lost. Fucking leaves.
You're just gonna like go punch a tree. Fucking leaves.
I fucking hate trees. You should know this. Anyways, but yeah, talking shit. No, it's the end of the video.
It definitely is the end of the video. I switched over to a different character, so that would be an entirely different video for then. But hey, there's been some. I pretty much just kept all my Marth gameplay in one, so there's been some more Project M gameplay. Enjoy it.